Hi everyone, and welcome to today's drawing time-lapse plus voiceover. I'm still trying to search for a name for this new series, but real quick before I begin, I wanted to show you guys how I transferred this tiny concept sketch, as you see here, onto a larger sheet of paper if I want to make a more fully fleshed final piece. First, I took a photo of the sketch with my phone, and then I printed it out onto a large sheet of printer paper. Then I overlaid this sheet of drawing paper over it, put both things over the light pad from DB Mirror, and adjusted the light settings as I needed to in order to properly trace my own concept sketch. And DB Mirror is a great product. It's super easy to use, and I highly recommend it. And thank you, DB Mirror, for sending it to me. Oh yeah, and of course, before I begin, the usual disclaimer is I really encourage you guys to only trace images if it's your own original work. Please do not trace other people's artworks or photographs. All right, on to today's topic of discussion. Real quick, a short blurb about this piece of art. It is a concept sketch that I'm experimenting with for an upcoming show at Arch Enemy Arts, which is an adorable little gallery in Philadelphia. The theme of the show is mystical creatures, and for my creature, I chose a fairy. And I was trying to experiment with a fairy bathing in the water and her wings covered with dew droplets. I'm not 100% satisfied with how these droplets came out yet. They might seem a little too large or just something very unnatural about them. So I will continue to experiment with this idea and hopefully get something more perfected in time for the show. I'm really excited for it. So yeah. Today's topic of discussion is something that over the last few months I have been kind of thinking about in my mind, and I almost had like kind of a small epiphany this morning, and I really wanted to quickly record the voiceover before I forget all the details because I want to share this little grain of knowledge with you guys. And I was thinking a lot lately about how we as artists or any sort of creative professions or even hobbyists, we have to really take good care of our mental well-being. And if you think about it this way, a professional athlete who plays sports for a living, or someone who's just really passionate about playing sports, they don't even have to do it professionally. Any sort of athletic person has to take good care of their body. They have to eat a proper diet full of nutrients. They have to continually stretch and work out to maintain their physique. If they sprain an ankle or have a sore muscle, they'll go to a doctor or a physical therapist to sort it out. And I feel like as artists, we should treat our minds with the same level of care and diligence. And what I mean by that is, for example, the last few months, because I have really increased the number of projects and just my workload overall, I have had very little free time. So whenever I have a free moment, instead of my usual routine of going on gossip websites or surfing Reddit or, I don't know, watching hours and hours of kind of, guilty pleasure reality shows, instead of occupying my time with those things, I took whatever spare time I had and I just really relaxed. Like, I tried to meditate, I tried to listen to calming, chill music, go on walks or take a bath even, or stretch or work out. And those activities that help me clear my brain rather than polluting it with useless junk have really helped kind of re-energize me and reset me for my next work session. And then I also want to say, like, by no means am I saying you should never do anything fun. Like, by no means should you completely exclude, reality television or internet browsing from your life. Like, those are definitely great ways to unwind and relax and kind of shut off your brain. To this day, I still watch The Bachelor, and I still go on Reddit a little bit before I go to sleep. But what I'm saying is I greatly reduced the amount of hours I invest into those things. So instead of occupying pretty much all of my free time with kind of, not couch surfing, sorry, with being a couch potato or surfing the web, I now only occupy a few, like maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour a day of those things. The rest of the time, I try to do things that really nurture my brain. And another way to look at it is, I no longer invest my mental energy into things that are not useful. So in some ways, even going on gossip websites or watching TV, it's not useful, but it helps you reset, it helps you relax and unwind. So in that way, it is useful. But there are so many things that we invest our mental capacity in that are not only unuseful, but also detrimental to our mental well-being. A great example is, the way I approached situations that were negative in my life. Before, I would just kind of complain about things. I would invest a lot of time and go out of my way to almost prolong the lifespan of any shitty situation or circumstance or conflict I was going through. I remember, for example, when I was trying to get my healthcare issue sorted out, because if you're self-employed, healthcare is like a huge weird hassle. I was trying to go through the Affordable Care Act, and basically it took me hours. I had a whole day invested into a failed mission of trying to set up my health insurance. I was on the phone for hours and hours and just feeling super frustrated and stressed out that I wasted a whole day and nothing came of it. And instead of letting it go and just trying to make the next day better or the rest of my evening better, I wasted even more time calling my mom or messaging my friends to complain about how terrible of a day I had. And although I do think it is really important to have an outlet for your frustration and to have a supportive network of friends and family where you can talk about whatever problem you're dealing with, I think before I just invested way too much time into giving this frustrating topic even more of my energy, more of my thoughts and my mental power. So nowadays, if I'm going through something stressful, if I'm dealing with an errand that I don't like, or if I'm going through conflict with, a fussy, terrible person, or even if I have a business or career issue, I try not to dwell on it. I'll give myself the time and the opportunity to acknowledge that I'm frustrated and acknowledge that I'm stressed out, but I try to let it go. And I think just learning to let things go and not dwelling on negativity and not almost milking the misery and kind of spreading that misery has really, really helped me recharge my brain. And, every day when I wake up now, I feel rejuvenated and refreshed, and I feel ready to take on the day. Sometimes when you're under a lot of stress or you have a lot of work to get done, it's really hard to give yourself any sort of motivation or focus if your mind is preoccupied with too many unnecessary things, right? So it could be preoccupied with reading too much gossip about celebrities, or preoccupied with too much, social life drama, or, kind of like me, I always get triggered and frustrated if I have to waste my day doing mindless adult errands. And it's just not good to dwell on those things. So over the last few months, it's kind of been a positive feedback loop where because I have so much work to do, I don't have time to dwell on negativity, or I don't have time to waste my mental energy on useless things. And then because I don't have time to do those things, I do those things less and less. And because I do those things less and less, it is even more helpful in making me more productive so I can take on even more projects. So all in all, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Hopefully those of you watching out there, if you're going through a stressful time, whether it be at school or whatever job you have, or if you're going through just any tough time in life where you need to really focus and concentrate and get stuff done, I hope you can find these tips useful. And I hope you guys can also find ways to clear your mind of clutter and negative energy. I know it's something that people preach all the time, but having actually done it in the last few months, I really noticed a significant improvement in my productivity and also my creative capabilities, right? The muse for painting is very fickle, and we have to take good care of our mental energy. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this time lapse. If you're interested in prints and stickers of this piece and a few other pieces, I have them in my shop at happyd-artist.com. And before I conclude this video, I wanted to proudly share these amazing entries from my $1 coloring challenge last month. I am so blown away. If you guys are interested in entering this month's challenge, go to patreon.com/happydartist and pledge at least $1. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!